If you want to actually watch this, right now we are streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope at the moment. It's Fourth Wall TV if you guys want to go and find it.
Yeah.
But it always takes me a hot second to get the.
Oh, I meant like literally, like, do you look forward or do you like look to the side or at the light or the camera? Where do you?
Oh, you just talk to one another.
Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, yeah, let's do this. That's a great idea. Yeah, it's very good. This is very, this is very intimate when I do this. Yeah, this will be good. This is good.
I feel like you're doing a character right now.
Well, frankly, I haven't. It's been a long day. It's been a really long day. It's been a really long day with a lot of weird shit happening, and so I'm like, I want to be goofy. Like, I literally, it's not like I'm trying to play a character. It's just like it's been when you have like I'm not one of those people that like. One of the greatest things I heard. One of my friends saying in regards to improv was always, he said, like, you know, it like take it too seriously is like framing dirty toilet paper. And so like when it comes to like shitty things that have happened that day, like it's like, don't frame the fucking dirty toilet paper, dude. So like I'm like, the shit happened and I'm like, I'm trying to goof off a little bit so I don't frame the dirty toilet paper.
Frame the toilet. I kind of like that. But by the way, we are now officially live on all four platforms.
All four platforms. All four of them.
I just realized that was on there.
4 fingers of death. 4 fingers of fourth wall death.
All right, guys. This is as always. I'm Travis Clyburn, and this is my good friend Ramsey Omery.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I have no idea where to look. I have no idea.
You don't have to look at anything.
I'm like a frightened animal. It's just like taking it. Like it's like I'm here all the time peeing, and now all of a sudden
we do. By the way, for people at home that don't know, this is literally in the back room, which is right by the shitter.
Yeah,
like it is right there.
Right there.
The legendarily terrible. Used to be terrible.
Got really good. You did a lot of work, Travis.
Thank you, buddy.
Turning that bathroom good. Here's how shitty to great it is. I will go in there and I will forget to lock the bathroom because I remember the times when the bathroom had no lock.
I didn't.
And people will walk into me peeing. I'm like, oh shit, we're now an establishment now. I gotta lock the fucking pee door.
For a while, dude. When I first cleaned it up, the handle didn't even fully go on the door. Like it was like half hanging.
Yeah, it was
off
jingling.
Like
I remember that. Yeah,
somebody
and it was weird because someone donated it and then someone put it on and they put
Paul
it on.
Green. Yeah,
Paul Green did it, and I hate to shit on Paul Green because he already does that enough to himself. But he was like,
poor guy. Yeah.
You know, but it sounds to me like one of those situations where like you do it half shitty so you can get more attention. So maybe he was like one of those people. He was like, I gotta come back, like that guy that came back for the weed. Like I gotta come back and fix the door.
Oh yeah.
Please pet me. Please pet me. I'm a human, but please pet me.
I don't know where Paul Green has been. He hasn't been here for a while. I think he's actually doing shows and stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's probably on. Let's hope greater things or dead. Let's hope not in between. Not sad. Not sad. Just on to the better life or in one way or another. But not like it's just kind of feeling my shut up, do something.
No, I don't.
If you check his Facebook, he's always doing cool improv, actor shit.
Yeah, because he fucking like auditions for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, he's got all those bits about looking like a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
no, right.
Do you ever fucking audition for anything? Or
I used to. Yes, I used to do non-union commercial acting. I would book about once a year. So I was in I think it was like not Vespa, but like some tiny like a Fiat commercial that went to Russia, and then I was booked in actually a greatest hits of the Who compilation commercial that was filmed that went to the Netherlands.
No shit. Like what did you do in the Fiat commercial?
I was supposed to be a mobster, but they were like, you're not very mobstery, and then they like recasted me on the spot. And they so I was in the background, and I got in the background, but I was supposed to be this big old mobster, and then they were like, "You're not very mobster," and I was like, well, "But here's like catch-22." Like it sucked. It was in this warehouse where they're like, "Don't go too far, you'll get heroin needles in your skin."
Holy shit!
Yeah, I had to follow them from location to location, but even though they recasted me, still got paid. Like I
Right.
was casted. So like,
Once you're casted right, you get your money no matter what.
Exactly.
Right?
So that was the nice part about it. But it was like those kind of situations of like treated like dog shit, where I was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm just gonna do stand up, and if something, I wanted like better representation. If for what they were great.
Okay.
But you know, it was like the non-union stuff is a grindhouse. It's a grindhouse, I also at the time had a very demanding job as a office manager for accounting office, and
wow, that sounds
I can't believe I was doing that double duty. They were really cool. It was fun for them,
right?
Because they were like it was something that break the monotony of like tax seasons and shit like that.
Right,
to be like, oh, I auditioned for a Downey commercial or a Adam Sandler movie or something like that.
Right, because I imagine that manager job incredibly monotonous, right?
Yes, all accounting jobs are incredibly monotonous.
Oh, yeah, I can see
they're
that.
they're held by people who are like they're usually like some sort of first generation American, like Armenian, Russian, Chinese, Filipino, and because you just need numbers. Like even my dad, who's Arab, numbers are like a universal language. So technically, you come to this country, you get good, usually technical number stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the English as much. And so, but by that, it was one of those things where like I would just go off and do a weird audition somewhere. Like, oh, what happened? Tell us more. And it was like usually, I waited in line. I acted like a jackass. I came back here to fucking do the mail before it got out. So,
fuck. So like, did you think it added a really fun, interesting dynamic to like your office and stuff? Like people like love knowing about it.
Yeah, no, they totally did. They were totally cool about that type of stuff. They were really chill. I loved that job actually. It was a lot of fun, and I would still be doing it. But we moved to a location where I always had like a kind of private area, but now it was one of those situations where it was like a big giant open center and just a bunch of cubicles but no walls. And really uncomfortable chairs. And I was like, I'd been doing the job for 7 years, and I was like, all right. And my family needed help with a lot of things, and I was like, all right, guys, it's time for me to go see what happens. And and you know what? Leaving that job, I got to do stand up like 10 to 15 times a week at its peak.
Yeah.
And I got to say, like, for whatever my skills are worth, it totally just ratcheted up my skill set so much just to be like, I'm gonna go to that mic and I'm gonna go to that mic. I got to go
just having the fucking time.
Yeah,
right?
I go into the Improv, going to the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Waiting in line at the Comedy Store. Doing those kind of things. It really it improved my taste levels. It made me harder on myself too, though. Like I've been doing it 6 years, and I basically have like 25 minutes, which is embarrassing to a lot of comics.
But I mean, is that because like you've had such a strict office
my
job and
standards?
stuff?
No, but that's because my standards are now so high for a joke.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
So like, because I've seen so much comedy. I really do feel like a lot of people's A's are my C. Like really, I do really honestly feel that. What also used to happen is, which informed that too, is before two things happened that made the Comedy Store really big. Yeah. Adam Egget took over as manager, and Louis C.K. dropped his special. But prior to that, the place was pretty much dead.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So I would go there literally Monday to Friday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., watch all the comics, and then I would get there on Friday, sneak into the main room, and watch from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. all Friday night. And so I would watch all the main room, and then when the main room was done, I'd sneak into the original room and I'd watch all the original room. And I did this for about a year. Yeah. And so like watching all that comedy really just made me like work harder and also see like not go as easy on myself because they didn't go easy on themselves.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was one of the best things about Joey Diaz coming here and stuff is to see just another level of comic.
Real comic.
Yeah,
and
especially,
real comic.
Especially when like I've always had the belief of never blame the room, but I always thought it was incredible when like no one got a laugh all night, and then Joey closed out and just just murdered with 5 minutes a room that everyone was just staring at, and like that made me go like, okay, then there is no room that's bad. I mean, You know, there's exceptions and there's weird circumstances, but like if everyone's fucking in a chair facing towards you,
yeah, you got
like
a shot.
any
given Sunday.
Yeah,
no, totally. There's something to be said also for anticipation. Like, what the fuck is this guy gonna say? Like,
right.
He just has that natural gift of, you know, I have almost all his albums. You know, just like what the fuck is this guy gonna do? Like, and he delivers. Yeah. And then not only that, the anticipation and the delivery. You know,
especially his delivery. I mean, who the fuck talks like Joey Diaz other than Joey? Like, everyone has, everyone has an impression of Joey Diaz. Yeah, it was just cool also to see like somebody who's achieved so much just be so humble. And I think Ramsey hosted here at Fourth Wall for a long time. You're one of the OG fucking people who came here, dude. Like the super OG.
Yeah, I was when Joe, because I'd known Joe before, and so like I was really excited that he had started this. Yeah, and so I would be around all the time, and then he needed help. Because he was a one-man show, and I would help out all that I could, and I was glad to be a part of it. And I'm glad he's still continuing to thrive with this and think of new batshit crazy ideas. Dude, right now there's like a truck. Is that part of Joe?
Yeah, man.
I can only describe it as a purge truck. Like you see the trucks
it's fucking
in the
huge
purge.
And black.
It's a big black truck that you expect the doors to open and just people wearing melted clown masks and machetes to just drag you into and then close behind them.
He's gonna take that big bad motherfucker somewhere. He's probably Hollywood somewhere, but he's gonna do the truck mic again. But he wants to do it like more open door, like gather a crowd style.
Right.
Which I think is good, man. Because it's like I think before when he would do the truck, like it was before we started the tent and stuff like that.
Right.
And I feel like the doors closed, captive audience kind of thing. It's like, to reduce sound and whatnot. Right. But at the same time, like I feel like once we did the tent, it's like most of the time we don't even zip the tent up, and most of the time it's just like let the noise come in.
Be what it is, right?
Like fight through it. Like I always say when I fucking host that. By the way, if anyone at home doesn't know, we have a second stage, and it's like cabana. It's just a fucking like
it's a cabana tent.
Yeah, it's just a big cabana tent, like lights up in it
with Christmas lights.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where anyone who complains about the noise from the highway or you're outside and it's fucking LA, so you got ghetto bird fucking helicopters flying around and stuff.
Right.
Like go and do any bar show ever.
Right.
Dude, it's like what you have an incredible bit. You don't have to burn it on this if you don't want to, but like about doing a bar show with a TV on behind your fucking head.
No, absolutely. I'll expound without doing the joke, but like they're like bars are notorious for just like not being conductive. So you're dealing with like I'll use other stories of other incidents, but like I remember doing comedy while the World Series is playing in the background. Yeah, you're trying.
They left it on.
They left it on. Yeah. It's like what joke is fucking better than the fucking and it was Los Angeles in LA.
Oh, it was the
LA when the Dodgers were in the World Series. Dude, how the fuck are we gonna top that? We're not. We're not. No joke is stronger than watching the Dodgers during the fucking World Series.
Oh no.
What was really great is the TVs were one TV was time delayed and one TV wasn't. And I was watching the TV that was live, so I'd watch a guy hit a home run. And I'm like, oh my god, wait till they see this, and then they would like 2 seconds away. You'd hear, oh, and I'm like, yeah, it's so much fun just to watch people like anticipate. Oh my god, they're gonna. Fisher struck out. They're gonna hate this.
Dude, that's so crazy.
Better than the jokes. What can you do?
Dude, it is one of those things. Like if you have to fight for attention, especially with stuff like that, especially with sports.
Right.
Oh yeah, I was in a fucking bar, and the moment they turned off the TVs, I hear a glass break. And to this day, I don't know if someone threw a glass, but someone was not happy that fucking thing turned off.
They turned it off. That's the things about like, yes, that's the weird things about bar shows is that bar locals feel entitled, and so like when change happens, this is why I didn't come here. Well, fucking bring more people, and then that'll solve the problem. Like,
it's another thing. It's if you turn on the room or try to shit on a crowd in a bar show for not paying attention, like sometimes they'll turn on you real hard. That's not my experience. My experience is more like they just start making fun of you, like this isn't real.
So like and this is my place, so I can do whatever I want.
Okay,
So,
especially the regulars that are real entitled. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah.
Those dudes will. Dude, man, the worst show to this day. Well, no, okay, I did a worse one not that long ago.
I'll do your worst, and I'll do my worst.
Okay, you want me to do my very worst?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure, why not? Or whatever you want to do. But like,
okay, I'll do. How about this? We'll do our worst bar shows, and if you can think of any other terrible show at a club or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so worst bar show. This place called Good Time Charlie's in Miamisburg, Ohio. Right. They have us performing on a balcony, an inside balcony. Right, you have to climb a ladder to get to it. So we're looking down at everybody. You can see that there's a crowd who wants to watch us to the right, and to the left are all the locals. No TVs have been turned off, right? And dude, in the middle of the show, like I do a set, and I look directly down. There's this grizzled old veteran-looking fella, like wearing a fucking camouflage coat and stuff. And I'm like, "You sir, what do you do?" And he took off his prosthetic leg and tried to throw it at the
God damn it.
I know. I get to the point where we kind of just started fucking around, and like it became less of a comedy show and more of like four dudes on a balcony. Just, like we started throwing comedy grenades. Like every time we'd tell a joke, we'd go.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna have fun with it after.
I'll tell one story about comedy on a balcony that was awesome.
You did balcony comedy?
No, I didn't. But I'll tell a story about another comic, and this is like the dream. Okay, because this is the greatest thing that happened on a balcony and a comedy show. Like, there was a show in a living room. Not gonna name names, but we know what we're talking about. If you know what we're talking about. And a comic brought a friend who was a '90s porn star. And that 90s porn star blew him on the balcony. Blew him.
I know the balcony.
On the balcony, on that tiny balcony, on that tiny. It's like
and the tiny balcony always filled with just random stuff.
And you know what? If you're an LA native, it's your typical like North Hollywood balcony, about size of 2 feet.
It's just very tiny.
Yeah, so we got that. But my worst bar show was a friend of mine had started a comedy night at a lesbian bar. And
that already sounds like a deficit.
Yeah, it definitely
was you're digging yourself out of a hole.
Definitely not. I always say like I've always like lesbians have always been testy with me, and I always think it's because some part of me thinks I have the dyke body they wish they had. Just like big old, just like clumsy, big bitch tittied.
I got the face, dude.
Yeah, so you know what? It's one of those things. Now, to be fair, also, like what went on before me was a big tittied woman with a ukulele right before me. Like, this is what they wanted. Like, they got exactly what they wanted, and then I went on stage, and
the exact opposite.
And to be fair to them, I had been doing comedy for 2 years, and they gave me 10 minutes, and I was like, I was not prepared in those 2 years to do 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
And I bombed so hard that they had given me a half price ticket, and I went to the bar to get my ticket, and they were like, "No, it's free, dude." They just gave me a beer. It was so sad. They felt that's how bad I bombed. I elicited so much pity that it was like,
wow, they got you free drinks.
They were like, sorry, they're so sorry. Like, that looked really painful. Oh, here's how bad I bombed too. Some guy gave me the headliner of the set had given me his phone, and then he was like, "Take pictures of us," and I was like, and so I took pictures of them with me out of it, and then they look at the pictures like, "These pictures are shit," and he's just like criticizing me on the pictures, like, "These suck," and I was like, "God damn it."
You just got shit on that entire night.
It was one of the more heartbreaking moments, because they're heartbreaking. Usually the heartbreaking ones now are like, I'll go to a comedy club and I just want to do so well, and it just doesn't go well, but I wanted it to do so well. That's the more heartbreak, as opposed to this one where it was like, it was just like, I wanted to do adequate, and it was like, no, not even that.
Well, you didn't even have nearly expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty bad. I understand that too. I did the Ice House. I've done it a few times, but especially in a club and stuff like that, you just you want it so bad, and you want it to go well because you're in a club, and especially one that's prestigious and shit. And then if you I didn't bomb, but I didn't do. But I was very average, and that was just so average, to the point where I was like that. it hurts your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, no one's gonna even remember that I got on this stage. Like, okay, let me tell you, the bar none worst show I will ever. I think honestly, this is why I don't really even get heartbroken all that much about shows, because this one went so bad, and just the circumstances were all like, as I tell them to you. You will, like, there's so many red flags. It's just like if you've been single for too long and you go on a date with a girl and you just desperately want someone to love you.
Yeah.
And so you just keep ignoring all the red flags. First off, it was put on by this man whose name was Tracy Cooper. And I'm totally name dropping out here from my Dayton, Ohio people. This dude was out of his mind. Like, literally out of his mind. But he had, he called himself a biker comic. He was still active duty in the Air Force. Allegedly and stuff like that. Like he had this huge following of biker dudes he could bring, and because of that, like, he got all this work at clubs and stuff, because he could bring like 150 fucking people.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a hell of a bringer. But it slowly started to evolve. But that's neither here nor there. He books us a show in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio, and when we get there, and we the GPS ends at a fucking like dirt road. And so we just drive down it for 2 miles. We get into the middle of the woods, and there's this huge VFW hall looking thing. And it turns out that it was a fucking the biker group, the Minions. It was a party for the Minions.
That sounds very what's that show? Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, and it looked like that too. Like, dude, it was just fucking giant dudes, all fat and hairy, were wearing nothing but a leather vest. You know what I mean? And like just the craziest, skankiest looking women you've ever seen in your life. And we get out and we walk inside to which would be the best place for a comedy show. Huge open hall. And then we're like, oh man, where should we set up the sound equipment? He's like, oh, you didn't even need to bring that. We got it outside. We walk out, flatbed trailer. A flatbed trailer in the middle of a field.
What?
And there's just all these big fucking biker dudes standing around it. We all had to do 15 minutes. Well, which, you know,
you could do that. Yeah.
I mean, like, it was to the point where I thought physical violence was for sure going to happen. Like, as I stepped off, yeah, like they hated us from go. And the moment I stepped off stage, this big fucking dude just looked at me and went, faggot. And then I went, yes, sir, whatever you.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
Whatever you want me to be.
Yeah, right.
But then the worst part about the entire thing, other than the fact that it was soul crushing and terrible, and we stayed there for way too long afterwards because we were like obligated to before we got paid. The fucking band, the cover band who was playing after us, the bass player was a super old man who was just tuning up his guitar. No one got a laugh, by the way.
Right.
Not a single laugh. This dude starts telling joke book jokes while tuning up and murdered.
Of course.
Murdered.
Of course.
And it was just like, why don't you just fucking pour a whole thing of Epsom salt into my wound?
Right, right.
It was fucking agony. But none of that works for. Have you ever done an outdoor show?
I can't. I know. I used to do an outdoor mic. And I used to be so frustrated because, first of all, with the outdoor stuff, you especially as it gets colder, you can't actually hear anything. You can't hear the audience at all. Oh, right. I remember there used to be like a big fire pit in the center, and I was like, "Fuck." I gotta like, because the audience couldn't
fire.
Yeah. Audience couldn't like come, coagulate in a like as a whole,
right?
And
yeah, because there's fire.
So yeah, exactly. So. And it was always music and comedy, and
which is hard.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Yeah, so I always, it's one of those things. Also, like it teaches you just to like have fun with yourself with it, because like you're just not. Even if you got them, you're not going to tell. You can't even like you can't even like.
Okay, so was it like a porch situation?
It was a outdoor patio. Like he used to be famous in the Valley. It was called Soapbox Sessions, and it was basically out on the Woodley Plaza. This comic would, or actually, you could be described as a community organizer. Just wanted to start an open mic,
right?
And it had a really great PA system. It had a really great sound, but at the same time, like it just was the valley, and it was just like it was like the banking district. So it's just like people getting off work. You had to keep it PG-13.
Oh, that's even worse for when you're censoring yourself.
Yeah. Actually, it didn't hurt me at all because like it's just the weird thing is like I'm dirty, and it was just like I just wasn't very funny. It was just the way it just was the way it was. And sometimes I would get so annoyed at the stuff that was funny. And I know it would never work anywhere else. Like I had stuff about food recipes. I would be like, "That's really good." And I'm like, "That won't play anywhere else ever."
Right.
That's the only thing. But I did a lot of mics outside. I have a friend who in Canoga Park has been running a like half book show, half mic.
I guess they may work better out here because
the weather
outside all
and
the
people
time.
are nicer. So
yeah, true. And then when it comes to outdoor mics in the Midwest or other places like that, a lot of times it's hard to get motherfuckers to support the arts or come see a live show in general.
Absolutely.
Like they'd rather stay home and watch fucking Dancing with the Stars and stuff like that. So it's hard to get people out to a show anyway. And so if there's anything a little weird or fishy about it,
they're just like, nope.
They check out. They check out quick,
totally.
man. Like if they're not comfortable too, like you got to be, it's the whole thing. The Midwestern thing. It's like everybody's got to be comfy.
The Midwestern thing, right?
Yeah, dude. They got to be comfy. They got to
Ohio, right?
Yeah. Southern Ohio to be specific.
Yeah.
You from here, right?
You have to say like I'm really from here. I was born in Boston, but like I didn't even
that's right, yeah.
I can't call myself a Bostonian. Like I spent pre-kindergarten there, but kindergarten in North Hollywood, and then almost the rest of my life in either Simi Valley or Ventura County.
So you barely even remember Boston.
Yeah, right? I barely do. Barely. Like there's little flashes and clips here and there.
Right, but probably not enough to even.
My family's my parents, they met there and they spent 20 years. That's why they moved out here. Like my mom had spent like she felt like she put her time in, like she was done.
Right. Yeah.
So she got a job teaching at UCLA and moved the family out here.
Yeah.
And it's been nicer. Been that kind of situation pretty much ever since.
Cool. How do you? Did you enjoy growing up here? You know what I mean? Did you have a good time?
You know what? I was a fat kid in California, so shit. So
it's not good to be a fat kid anywhere.
Nope, not even a little bit.
No.
My biggest I was at 300 pounds, but I was definitely.
Dude, how old were you when you?
17 when I hit that. 16, 17 when I hit that.
Oh, wow, that's fucking rough, dude. That's high school.
No, you're right. Yeah, I would say it's just being like a fat kid in California just fucking sucked. And it also fucking sucked because it would be the only sports you can go out for are the ones where they kick the crap out of you. And so I was like,
football, shit like that.
Yeah, I was like that. And also I was always more of an artsy kid, and you see artsy kids and they're all good looking and shit. And they're not gonna let the tubby kid play guitar in their band. You just can't. It's just not gonna happen.
It's true. You gotta be an expert level ripper if you're gonna. Be chubby in a band out here.
It's almost like Jay-Z and everybody. If you're black and you got to be super successful, you got to be Oprah successful. You can't just be you can't be Gardner Rye. You can't be an 8 or 9. You have to be 11 and a half. And
right.
A fat guy in a rock band has to be a 12 and a half.
Oh, you got to be a killer, dude.
Yeah. So and I was pretty good, but not enough, but not like that. You have to be legendary. That's the thing, legendary.
Yeah, there it is.
And I'm I was good. If you needed somebody, I could hold my own, but legendary, no. Nope. No, not even a little bit. In fact, that's why I never went into music was because to be this is chubby kid, it's it was not gonna happen.
Right.
I did band and I did I did band.
What'd you play in band?
I played. If I had my way, I would have loved to have been a trumpet player. I didn't have the lips. That was nothing about my way. Really? I just didn't have the lips.
Because that's a particularly hard instrument to play, right?
Yeah, exactly. I love the trumpet, and if I had my way, I would have played the trumpet. I switched to clarinet. And then I switched to guitar, and then I stayed with that. I didn't even.
They had guitar in your band?
Yeah. They
cool.
they had a guitar in the jazz band.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
And I didn't play that in my many bands because people were weird, and so I just I mostly played when I got home. But I didn't get into comedy and theater till I was almost about to graduate.
Oh, really?
And then I was I know what happened. Yeah, I know exactly what happened. I did this one act play.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand at the time Chris Farley was big.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, he's one of the reasons I started.
And so I'm a chubby kid, and what happens is I'm doing a show, and I do have to do a show where I take a bump to the chest, and I fall backwards.
Yeah.
And I did a full somersault. I did a full backwards somersault and landed on my feet.
Oh, dude.
And so, yeah, because I was big, but I was coordinated.
Nimble.
And so so like I did that, and I was like, I got laughs, and then I was like, "Oh my god, validation!" And like Chris Farley was
the bug, huh?
And Chris Farley was existing at the time,
yeah.
and so like I was like, "Oh, this is something that's actually kind of feasible," and so like or more feasible than anything else I had planned.
Right.
Like I had no direction, and so I was like, "Yeah, let's do this and see what happens."
Cool, man.
So that's what kept me going. Like, in the '90s were a good time to like shit. Like,
oh, for sure, man.
Like, here's why I say that, because like what I would do is, because I didn't have any friends, so I would stay up from like 11:30 to 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday, and I would tape Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien, David Letterman.
Dude, so you're a huge fucking talk show fan then, right?
I mean, all that stuff, but like, here's other stuff. There would be ABC in Concert Live. There would be Austin City Limits. There would be Kids in the Hall at 2:30 a.m. HBO would show network versions of their specials. That's how I saw Bill Hicks. I didn't know who Bill Hicks was. I just pressed record, and I was like, I didn't know comedy could be like that. During that time, comedy was a lot like the Sklar Brothers, who are great, but like imagine you were watching a comedy scene where everybody was like the Sklar Brothers. That was basically the '90s comedy scene. So then you got this guy going like recreating Shane and pick up their and shit like that. You're like, who the fuck is this?
Right.
And I didn't know who he was until years later when the internet caught up and I Googled "It's Just a Ride" and it's like Bill Hicks. I'm like,
dude, one of the most legendary fucking bits of all time.
Yeah.
Just a Ride. So do you think? I mean, like, when did you first start stand up? You said 6 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So did it take you a while to start?
I did it like once a month, twice a month prior to that.
Right.
Nothing I ever really kept, and really because I always felt like with the Chris Farley factor and stuff like that. Also, I was a pretty good improviser. I was okay sketch writer, not so much actually. I was a little on the downside, but I was a very good improviser, I think. Right. So I was trying to actually make improv work. Right. I did a lot of weird underground theaters that were in the Valley that were actually a lot of fun. They would be
That's really cool.
Yeah, there would be stuff like where it was the place called the Hot House, which was by where the old Ha-Ha was, and it was non-suggestion. It was literally improv and a rock band. The rock band would start playing, dude. And you just learned these 5 tenements, like it was like mirror, yes, and heighten and explore, transformation, and I forgot what the last one was. And you would just improvise a show with a rock band and a couple of improvisers, and you would do a whole hour show.
Wow, that's really cool, man.
And so like I did little theaters like that, and then but when I went up to I'd been doing it for years at these theaters, and at Bang, which used to be over by Fairfax, but then when I went to the big ones like Groundlings and UCB, they were like. Groundlings bumped me out of writing after writing lab, and half of me is sad, half of me doesn't blame. I wasn't that great.
So did you do basic through advanced?
I did basic through advanced improv, and then the writing lab. I got bumped at the writing lab, and then I did UCB. I did their improv and sketch program. Yeah, and it was obviously they were just not going to pick me. Like I was just like, and I was like, wow, this part of my life has come to an end, and it was either do stand up or quit comedy. It really was. It was like, do stand up or quit comedy. And I've always been resentful that I never got never got to spread my wings in its full extension in terms of comedy. And so I was like, I'm not done yet, motherfucker. I am not done yet. And so I started doing stand up because I was just like, I was like, I have not done all I was supposed to do comically. And
that's good. You still, I mean, that's great, man.
So that's why, I came to it a little bit later, like my mid 30s. And
I did not realize you started so heavily in improv.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Because I started the same. Yeah, I started improv when I was 16.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it makes you a better stand-up because I mean you have some amazing riffs when you go up there, especially if you're in a particular mood. You'll fucking
my riffs are a lot of fun. Man. You're missing out if you can see my riffs, but yes,
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because that's basically actors training and stuff like that, and just improv and stuff like that, and being honest with the audience and being honest with yourself and finding the humor in that. The only catch-all is like, you know, jokes do reign king. Like, you know, like, so like, because the thing about a riff is the audience has to be on board with you. And
yeah, you can't. If you, it's almost like even tonight doing the 10 o'clock show. I think that my biggest deficit was that there wasn't enough energy in the room for me to riff and ride the energy, and also I didn't have enough energy to project to even really do material.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, so it's like I got some laughs and stuff, but really I was like, I just, you
know what? You were just being classy because you know what? Hatred always works. Like, it's 10 p.m.
True.
Everyone's going to get it. Everyone's going to say some weird, sick shit. Everyone feels dejected because they know it's the last thing they're going to do at the night, and they wish that last thing was a blowjob, and it's not going to be a blowjob. So they're already dejected. And so you just got to be like, oh, you think you got it rough? I've just been here all fucking day, and you've seen the shittiest comic. How many female comics wishing they were in the net do you think I saw today? Fucking 3, you fucks. You think you got it bad? Yeah.
You do. I try never to grow bitter when it comes to how much stand-up I watch, because it's like, it is nice though, because I know what's being done more than probably anyone realizes, because it's like you see so much when you're here. It's like I've seen stuff not get any laughs, like kind of because it's especially certain topics. Like I can feel the comics' buttholes pucker when someone just even starts instead of Trump. You know what I mean? Dude, like I don't care how, like I have never heard anybody get a fucking laugh on a Trump joke here. It's because we're fucking over it. It's just
it's one of those things. Well, actually, you know what? It's like a lot of people are scared, and if they're not scared, they're exhausted, and so it's hard to make something funny out of that. Like it's hard to make. You know, it's just one of those things where, I'm trying to think about like all my Trump political jokes. Also, like comedy, like in this background, it has to be personal, and politics isn't personal right now.
Yes, and so like, especially now, I feel like the advent or the zeitgeist of stand-up in general is honesty, like brutal fucking honesty, like really being honest with yourselves and with the crowd and stuff. Like that's how I feel Fourth Wall is almost at the forefront of that, because it's like all the comics here do it so often that it's like they dig deep with material, and you get to a point where it's like, if I don't just bare my soul out here, then everyone will know I'm like, I'm phony and stuff like that.
Well, also like they're just not going to be interested. Like why? Like whenever a comic is like talking about something that isn't themselves, it's like, but like you're here. Why are we talking about this? You're right here. Like,
true. And like, even if it's not necessarily talking about themselves personally, it's like if you have to have an emotional tie or investment in it. It's like no comic has a real investment in politics. You're not a fucking politician. Right. You can't personally relate with it. It's just how you feel about something. So it's like if you gotta have a true emotional or true like connection to it, to be honest with, or at least just a fucking ultra unique opinion.
It's true. The fun, can't say the best, but the most fun jokes I always had was how I was mad, not at Trump himself, but how people kind of kid gloved him. Like I grew up around like this kind of like to me, like I grew up around so many scumbags. I'm like, I know how to handle this guy. You know, why is no one yelling at this guy to shut up? Just yell at him. Why isn't the press like someone just yell? Because everybody wants has their sense of propriety. But if you just yelled at him, like stop being a bitch. You're being a little bitch.
Oh, dude, that's how they like. Someone explained to me really well. A dude from the East Coast. He's just like, he's an East Coast businessman. Right. All they do is talk loudly and they talk shit. Right. And then all you got to do is just fucking call them on their shit. Right. And then like they'll double down their deny. They'll keep trying to sell. And it's just like, no, you fucking shut your
fucking hold. Yeah.
You got to New York him. And
exactly. Yeah. No one's New York Trump. And so like that's why it's not fun. Because no one, it's not put in a situation where you can do that.
Well, and also they're trying to battle him intellectually. And it's just like,
Also, the thing about jokes that make it funny, it's hard to do it political joke that doesn't sound malicious and condescending too.
Especially nowadays, man.
No matter what side you're on about the politics, it's hard to do a joke that doesn't sound malicious and condescending to a group of people who aren't there to defend themselves.
Because you know what, man? I don't feel like, especially a lot of comics, I don't know that we care enough to like fully lean left or fully lean right, but it's like, and shout out to Nick Jordan, and this is some advice straight up to Nick Jordan. Sometimes if it seems pretentious and condescending, the room will turn off. Not even because he says right-wing type stuff. It's because it's just like you're talking down. And the moment you talk down or you have that mentality where it's just like, if you just educate yourself, the moment you tell anyone that they're not educated enough to be right, you're already starting from an elevated status. And then why the fuck would they listen to you?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of comedians have like that condescending thing like that. And you know, it gets hammered out by audiences. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm acutely aware when I go on stage, I'm a 6 foot tall white dude. Like, I have to walk very carefully because it's easy for the audience to go, all lives matter, huh, fucker? Real fucking quick. So I'm very careful about to do the most kind of like, hey, we're just all people, right?
I toe the line in general, like with any of that stuff, because it's like, first off, we're cracker looking motherfuckers.
Absolutely.
So it's like we can't go in any particular direction without someone kind of hating us.
Well, it goes from the both sides, because like it's weird because I'm white as fuck, but like my name is Middle Eastern as fuck. No one ever mentions that.
Middle Eastern.
My dad's Palestinian.
Yeah.
And but like all those like ones where it's like inclusive like shit. I never get any shit on. I never get called in on that one. So I was like, like my dad lost his fucking home to the Israelis. Is that enough? Is that enough for your fucking list? Can I get on now?
I know. Well, and especially they like, because you got fucking blue eyes, right? And you're a fucking white dude. Like, dude, it's so fucking ridiculous. Let me in fourth. No, Erickson, I'm doing a fucking podcast. You'll be fucking fine.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He just said text me to let him in the fourth wall. I don't know if he left his book. Like,
no,
dude, we gotta do.
Let me in. Okay. Like, he probably wants to get on the podcast.
I think he may have left his backpack in.
Oh, okay. Well,
but then he disappeared. I thought he left. So what are you gonna do?
Not bloody much. That's my favorite thing to say when people say, "What are you gonna do?"
Not bloody much.
Not bloody much.
Oh yeah. Plus we get like 20 fucking minutes to do this anyway. But yeah, man. God damn it! Derailed this podcast.
Fuck. That's Well, but we're talking about him, so he's gonna love it. So we just gotta get on. We were talking about politics, and
and I want to stray away from that a bit, because here's what I really wanted to talk to you about.
Sure.
Ever since when you brought up being a fat kid.
Let's please.
Okay, I thought about this today, and I'm not even trying to work into a bit. I just think it's more of an important point. It's just like, why do you think you were a fat kid? Do you think that was your parents' fault for for letting you eat whatever the fuck you wanted to? I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have any fucking money. They're the ones buying the food.
I'll get into that. I'll get around. I'll go a long way around to get to that. But because there were a lot of factors. My mom is overweight. My dad's thin as a rail, but my mom is overweight. And I have a brother and a sister, and we're all overweight. That being said, like growing up, my family didn't really cook that well, and I remember there were multiple days where we had bobbly with hot dogs on top. Bobbly pizzas with hot dogs on top, and ice cream almost every single night. And exercise was okay, but diet was really fucked up. So there's little column A from little column B. Actually, I don't get angry at my parents for that. The only thing I do get angry at my parents at, the one time about my weight that I get angry at my parents at, is when they took me to the nutritionist. Right. They took me to the nutritionist with them, and it was this huge guilt trip, and it makes me mad because.
How old were you?
Oh fuck! I was in elementary school, third or fourth grade. See that? Yeah, you see that? You just because like it's the parent, like it's like it should have been between the parent and the doctor. But now my parents are screwed up people, so like I forgive and forget. But at the same time, like it was the fact that a doctor and a parent put all the nutritional responsibility on a kid as opposed to themselves.
Dude, my parents were both overweight, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to shit on my parents, but also fuck you guys. But no, like. Dude, I think I had horrible migraine issues, and the more I think back on it, the more I get myself more educated in nutrition and stuff like that. All I drank was Pepsi. So you're perpetually dehydrated. I'm talking like 8 cans or like, I don't know, at least 4 cans of Pepsi every day, never any water ever. Right. You know what I mean? And like my dad took me to a fucking weight loss hypnotist when I was 12 fucking years old, or maybe even 11. To hypnotize the fat out of me, essentially. They were always fat. They never fucking went on a diet. They just wanted the kid to diet.
Right.
And then that's like thrusting all this responsibility of, again.
So white trash.
That is so fucking white
trashy.
Dude, it is trashy as a motherfucker.
Because it's like if we lived in a Frank Capra world, the reception or the hypnotist will look at me like, no, actually, you have to set a good example.
Yeah.
And then
you
have to set the boundaries. Like that's your only job is to set the boundaries.
I was the only child. I vividly remember it's a room full of sad, fat adults, and I'm a sad, fat little kid with my fat dad. Fucking, dude, it's ridiculous. By the way, I don't necessarily believe in hypnotism, but if it took, I think there's what's wrong with me. No, but you know what I mean. Like, it's.
I was hypnotized as like one of those like show hypnotists.
Oh really? Do you think it like did anything? Do you really?
I think yes and no. Yeah. I think it only does what your mind will let you do. Like
right, that's why you can't hypnotize someone to kill somebody or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Your mind will reject because like it's just it's literally a suggestion. Like, right. So it's not an order. It's not an ultimatum. It's a suggestion. I remember there was a part where they was like, take off your shirts. I'm like, I'm not fucking taking off my shirts. Are you fucking kidding me? So like, it's literally a suggestion as it appears.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm not going to fucking let you in, Erickson. Jesus Christ. We're in the middle of a goddamn podcast live streaming. Calm the fuck down. How entitled can you be?
Very.
Jesus, man.
This is Los Angeles.
I don't give a shit what you need. If you left something in here, you shouldn't have just wandered the fuck away.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, he's trying his hardest, but not by the hair of our chin. I'll tell you that, fuck it, bud. No, these two little piggies ain't doing shit right now. We're having a fat, sad party. Go away.
And it also sucks because it's like if you fucking don't practice proper nutrition with your fucking kids, or if you don't make sure that they're at least remotely in shape and stuff like that, you're immediately taking your kid and putting him in a deficit for life. Like, dude, when I lost weight, the things people fucking tell you that they feel about fat people to your face, not knowing you were ever overweight.
Oh yeah,
horrendous shit, man. I've had people tell me like, man, every time I look at a fat guy, I wish he'd fucking die. Like I've had people say that to my fucking face.
Yeah, I know. Or and also like when it's not enough, when people still call you fat, it's like this. Oh, is my game.
Yeah, I know that you fucking sucks,
motherfuckers. Like I remember I was working at the office and like the station lady's like, "You're so fat still." I was like, "Fuck,
dude, that's the fucking worst."
But like it's one also like because also there's a lot of ignorance about fat itself, and so like a lot of fat shaming is based on appearance as opposed to behavior, and so like you just like you have no idea who you're talking about on any level, and so like what's worse like I always say like the silence is worse than the insult. Like what's worse isn't necessarily like being called fat and stuff like that. It's just like seeing who will say yes to me on Tinder. And you're like, oh, this is what they think of me. Oh, that's fantastic.
That is true, man. It is kind of sad to like,
or like, all the helpful advice. Thanks. Yeah, you sound rarely educated.
Oh, dude, and and especially a skinny person trying to give you weight loss advice is the most infuriating fucking thing in the world.
Or like people who think they're so fat and they're skinny, or like they think they're fat as opposed to being treated as fat. You know, there's two differences.
Oh yeah, and it's I love Dave Neal to death. Shout out Dave Neal, Sex Actually podcast. Check it out, really good. I was on
a
an
lot
episode.
Of fun.
Great fucking dude. Very pretty model girlfriend. He said on stage, he's like, I'm chubby, and I wanted to fucking spear him with a mic stand. I was like, if you're chubby, I should kill my fucking self. It's like, what the?
But that's Los Angeles for you too.
I know, and like, dude, he's got the tiniest pooch in the world. It's barely even a pooch.
He doesn't have a pooch. It's not a pooch.
It's like if anything, he just is skinny and doesn't have abs.
Don't threaten me to pull my shirt down and show you the pooch. Don't make me do that.
Start jumping
because
rope.
Start jumping rope. That's right. I will jump rope on this fucking podcast. And that's actually coming of the apocalypse is just like
shirtless jump roping on fourth wall after hours.
By Ramsey Omery. Just my back hair flowing in the wind is like just oh my god, just slings everywhere. Or loose skin, either or. I couldn't tell.
That's the motherfucker that also that's another fucking thing that you're doing to your fucking kid if you're letting him like be over like Rob Morris talks about this. I fucking love that guy. Excuse me, sorry. He's a beautiful man now. He's very thin.
Right.
But he finally talked about it on stage once, and he said, like, he's like, because he was such a fat kid, he's like, my body looks like I have sad bags of oatmeal hanging out. It's like, even as thin as he is now, and he's been that thin for fucking years.
Right.
It does. Your skin is just never the fucking same, man.
No, yeah. I've lost a lot of weight, and like, it's hard to tell what's fat and what's not fat, but it definitely just looks like I'm wearing a bulletproof vest made of pancakes,
dude. And that's the craziest thing.
So gross.
When you're first fucking losing weight too, and when you finally lose all the because there's subcutaneous fat and there's that intermuscular fat and stuff that grows in the muscles. When you lose all that intermuscular fat, which kind of goes a little bit before like that, cause like this fat right here, because like that's the fat that you technically need for warmth and stuff.
Right.
All the other stuff is damaging to your organs and weakens your muscles.
Right.
Did you notice that it felt like you were just wearing something weird?
Yeah.
Like you said, like you're wearing a bulletproof vest, like it's just on top of you.
Like also, you can see it too. Like I don't see a lot of pictures with my shirt off.
Yeah.
But like I remember, like at an open mic, because it was late. And I was tired, and I needed to get the room back. And like then the host had heckled me, and I had to get the room back after dealing with the host, even though they were on my side. I had to get a room, so I took off my shirt, and they took a picture, and I looked at the picture, and it looks like a skinny guy wearing a deflated fat suit.
No shit.
So I'm like, oh man, I'm glad I took a picture, so I never have to see that again.
Dude, and that sucks, man. So it's like it's almost lose-lose because it's like maybe if you had money, you could maybe get the skin like the skin cut off and stuff like that. Yeah,
but then what do I gain? More people in my life? Meh. Overrated.
Well, then I don't know. Like the moment you're always that big, like it's hard to come back from. And that's why I think I've been like oddly just resentful of like just always being like that. You know what I mean? Because it's just like you're just kind of fucked. You know, and especially with the crazy ass fucking beauty standards out here, man. It's just like not that I give that many fucks about being beautiful. Because it's like I'm not in that business. I'm in the funny business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're for the funny business. You look great.
Yeah. Well, thank you, beautiful.
You're welcome, cuddle bear.
Yeah, you're the cuddliest bear.
You're the cuddle.
We're gonna bang after this.
Yeah,
guys.
that's right.
Yeah. And then
we're gonna paint our own Care Bear insignias on our fat fucking bellies. And then just like bang each other with our like new bear names, our Care Bear names.
Care Bear names. What would be your Care Bear name?
Oh man, I'd put probably like a guitar. So I'd be like Les Paul Bear. Les Paul Bear.
Les Paul Bear. I like that one. I think I would just be I don't know.
You could do it.
Sadness Bear.
Sadness Bear. You're too hard on yourself.
I know.
You'd be like Mover Bear.
Mover Bear, yeah. I just have this skull.
This skull, that's right.
Oh, shit, we got some people coming here. Chris Corman said, unsolicited dying advice happens to me all the time. Fucking hate those people. Well, unsolicited, too. That's fucking rude as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Biscuit's a heavy fellow himself. And, like, see, Chris, are you telling me that people just, like, go... hey, I see that you're fat.
Yeah.
You should do keto. Like that's.
Yeah.
Oh, look Trenton Stewart Jones. Trenton will sometimes talk about the fact that he feels overweight, and I mean, I guess he used to be like shredded.
Oh, he was totally. Yeah, you could tell that. He
Yeah,
was
and
like,
you could, yeah. But I mean, like,
he's a
dude,
gift.
you
He's
are
an Adonis kind of guy. Yeah.
Yes, you're still a very beautiful man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't. I'd be brown love bear.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah, you got that brown loving, that brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Trent, you look great, so don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean, then also you're 55, right, Trenton?
He looks great. He's fucking looks fantastic. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was
Almost upsetting.
Actually, I don't feel that way. Like, I'm always like, good for you. I remember like working in that accounting office. I actually got to meet an Olympian. I got to meet Lenny Kraselberg, who won a medal in swimming. And
I bet they were just.
And it was like, I see why they win. I was like, oh my God. It was like closest I'll ever meet to meeting a Greek god in person. It was amazing. I was amazing. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so fucking amazingly ripped. I was like,
dude. I mean, like, think about like Phelps, like, he had those big goofy ears and he's like really not good looking at all. But dude, he was the most shredded.
Oh yeah.
And you just like, it said he burned 12,000 calories or ate 12,000 calories a day because he burns like 10,000.
Oh, totally. He's in the water all the time. No, the same thing with Lenny. He was the fucking Adonis. Like, good for him.
Dude, those swimmers, yeah, man. And they get that's like the ideal like male physique build, right? Because of all the strokes and stuff, they get the lats.
Yeah.
Right? And like you can get the fucking great arms and shoulders. So it's like the ideal male build. Or at least for like bodybuilding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like you burn so many calories, like there's no chance for fat to even live on you.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Just shredded. Oh, okay. Chris says a kid called me fat in the grocery store, so I told him Santa wasn't real, and then it's really his parents. That's fucking hilarious.
Brutal. That's right. Play with fire, motherfucker. Get burned.
That's fantastic. Chris, what do you think you blame parenting for like you being overweight as a kid? Because I know you told me you've pretty much always been overweight and stuff like that. Do you think? But I'll let you slowly respond and stuff like that while we continue to talk. But do you have any ideal way you want to look body wise and stuff like that? Or, I mean,
you know what? Yes and no. I mean, at this point, it's like it reaches a point where you're just torturing yourself. You're like, I'm doing all I can do,
right?
And like, I'm literally doing like an hour of like 20 minutes weights, 30 minutes cardio. Like I'm sweating my balls off. Like I can't think about anything other than that, other than to be proud of what I've accomplished, because like it's just like it's anything other than that is just me flagellating myself, and I got enough reasons to do that in my life. I don't need help. I don't need to add one more to the fucking list. So
for sure.
So like I tend to try to be more positive about the future. And like with the affirmations and that kind of shit, then this is weird. It's not the working out that bothers me at the gym and shit like that, or like other people's impressions. It's more like just general human stupidity. Like, get off the fucking machine. You've been on it for too fucking long. Like those are more my there is times where I look at my body and I'm like,
but I mean, like, you are right. Like, I think my biggest thing is like trying so hard to look the way you want to look. Like, eventually, like, it's just, you almost have to develop a bit of like a body image, like mental illness. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not mental illness. Just admit you're working as hard as you possibly can, and if you're not, then work hard. That's the cure. That's why I say I guess I don't have it. It's because like I can say without a doubt, like looking at my diet, looking at my exercise, like I'm working as hard as I possibly can. I stretched it to the fucking limit. There's nothing more under my circumstances that I can do, and I accept that. Like, and
no, dude, that's a good mentality to have, because I feel like for like I really fucked up my head because I mean I've been keeping it off as best I can for 7 fucking years.
Yeah.
So it's like it takes a toll on you mentally.
It does.
A while.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Because like it's never gonna go away. Because you're never gonna. Because like the way society feels about fat people, like that feeling of like you entering a certain situation and feeling like you didn't get all that you could have, and feeling like I think it had to do with my weight. Like that's just because the way it's never gonna go away. And so like that's the piece that just like haunts you. It's just like you'll enter a situation, and you won't get all that you want from it, and you can't help feeling like this is about my weight. Like this is.
I know, especially when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, man. Like, I mean, I guess I get it when I was like 370, because I mean this is very big and stuff like that, and it's like I don't know, like I don't think I'd be. Want to be with a chick that was like super, you know what I mean? Like I'm just not attracted to it.
There's one or two women that wear it very well, but
right. Like, I don't think I wore it that well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that's very rare. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't like ultra shapely or anything like that, right? And confidence, swagger, and humor only goes so far. You know,
it's true. Although money helps. Like that's the other thing. I guess that's the only thing I feel also about my likes that I don't care, because to me it's not actually about looks anymore. It's about an income and wealth issue. Like if I just made enough money to justify my looks, it wouldn't matter at all.
Right.
I do firmly believe like the magic formula is a high income tax bracket. Like it'll just be like,
dude, that's true. That does make all like then it really doesn't matter.
And that doesn't mean she doesn't love you, but it just makes things, women have a need for security, and like so like it just makes things a lot easier. And think about like a relationship, you're barely gonna see each other just like at the nighttime. So like women have a good way of compartmentalizing that kind of stuff.
That's true.
So like
which is interesting, because it's like makes it better than us in ways, because it's like not a lot of men do.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
Because really, it's like we're looking for someone who's cool, but also like if a woman was rich, maybe I don't know that it would be that much of a benefit in my mind. You know what I mean?
No, it probably wouldn't, because for a guy, it always boils down to sex. And that's just the way it is. Like there's just that one thing, like would I bang her? And it's like and because we don't have offspring to think about. So potential for offspring.
Well, then at the end of the day, like a particular libido and brain just wants to make the best suitable offspring.
Right.
Like we're more inclined to, and then they want to make this best suitable environment for their offspring.
Right.
And also good offspring. Hold on, Chris is commenting some fucking top notch shit here. Obesity waddles through my family. Waddles through his family. I say that because nothing runs through it. Part genetics, but mostly I ate like shit. And my top weight was 6'11". He's now 383. Damn. With diet changes only, I'm the only one to blame for my weight. Do you think you're the only one to blame as a kid, though? Is kind of the point, because it's like you gotta. I mean, and you've told me before your parents and stuff like that are overweight. So I mean, obviously that adds to it. But I mean, to be fair, yeah, you're right. Like. That's why I grabbed a hold of it after I turned 21, because I was like, once you're making your own money and making your own decisions after like, I don't know, 15, 16, shit's on you.
Also, congratulations for losing like 300 pounds.
That's fucking incredible. Yeah, he said, I hate going to the gym because I feel like a zoo animal on display. Everyone stares. And you're right, dude. That was the hardest thing in the world for me at 370, man. Like I fortunately found a really small gym, but still every time these fucking monsters would come in there and stuff like that, like and I just see them looking at me, because it's like, and I don't know if they're looking at me because obviously no dude like that has an encouraging mindset, you know what I mean? Like, but and it just makes you feel judged like a motherfucker, and you feel bad because you can't do things properly. Like, dude, for my first fucking year of trying to lose weight, until I got under 300 pounds, I couldn't do the elliptical at all. It was just too it's too heavy, man.
Right now, yeah. I'm always more bitter and crotchety, so I'm like, I don't want these people's. I don't care if I have their people's attention, because I didn't want it in the first place.
That's
like
fair.
Like it's like it's like one of those things. It's like, you're fat. Well, we weren't going to talk about the Dodgers anyway, so I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? We weren't going to be friends. This wasn't the thing keeping you and me from being friends. The thing that was keeping you and me from being friends is I hate you.
Well, I think you're also old enough to compartmentalize that, or like at least make that present in your mind, because it's like I was so young, and also young and wanting to be a comedian.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why won't everyone love me?
Well, also, I guess that helps with like having bad shit parents, and that it kind of built my ego and my that kind of shield up. So because like I was like, I can't let other people's definitions affect me, because one, they're fucking crazy. and two, like there's never been another person's definition that's ever benefited me, and so that's the thing. Like, and that's why that type of stuff. If one other person's definition of me had ever benefited me, of course I'd be insecure, because it means something. It would mean some sort of value. I would get some sort of incentive for it. Right. But literally everyone's definition of me was, you suck. Well, I still got bills to pay, so I'll catch you later. Go ahead and keep telling me I suck. I gotta go get to work. You know.
Well, let's do that. That's a fucking healthy mentality to have, man.
Yeah, thank you. Well, bills help. You know. So.
Oh, okay. Trenton made a fair point, and this is almost one of those things where, you know, it's something you can't help. And Joe Menente has this same point exactly. On the other side, he used to be super skinny. Growing up, people always made unwanted comments and stuff like that. And Joe said he was like skinny, like frail skin.
Yeah,
you know what
I can see that.
Because they get those ultra fast metabolisms.
Right.
And, you know, and then it's, and also like, I honestly, God, like still in my mind don't think that it would even hurt someone's feelings to call him skinny. Because in my mind, I was always fat. It's just like, I want that. I wish I was that. But at the same time, Joe all the time is so envious how easy I can put on muscle. But I was like, at the same time, dude, I'm fucking slathering on the fat the moment I put on muscle. It's
right,
like,
exactly.
So, but I get it. Like, that's another side of it too. Because it's also, if you're way too skinny, it's not even like that. Well, I don't know. I still feel like it is easier to get fucked.
Right,
as a skinny guy than a fat guy.
Oh, totally, yeah. We're dudes. Completely, like we're such dudes. We're such dudes. So we're trying to compete over being a victim. That's literally what this is now turned into.
You're right.
Because it's like, oh, well, like he's like, and now it's like, and he's like, your time was pretty good, but now check out my time. And Trent just comes in like skinny time. You know, this is like that. You know,
that's true. This has become the victim off podcast.
Like, exactly.
Okay, on the hilarious note, guys, we are on 1 hour, you guys. So we're gonna wrap this motherfucker up.
Right, we'll do this again.
Absolutely, I'm definitely gonna have you back on again, man. I feel like we just scratched the fucking surface.
Oh, we totally just scratched the fucking surface.
But this is a lot of fucking fun, dude.
I totally did.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you,
guys. This has been Ramsey Omery. I'm always the Travis Clyburn, everybody. Yeah. And this is the Fourth Wall After Hours podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Bam.